Well, hello everybody. My name is Spencer Smith. I am a Christian dad, and I'm here today to review a movie about rebelling against your parents, embracing witchcraft, and doing whatever you want to do with your life despite all warnings of common sense and wholesomeness. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we're going to review a new Disney movie. Isn't this like the plot of every single Disney movie out there? Your parents say don't do it, but I'm going to do it, and somehow there's a witch, and somehow, there's cute devils everywhere. Satan is so sweet, isn't he? But the one we're going to review today is called Turning Red. Turning Red is the newest Pixar film that Disney has put out, and it says Disney and Pixar's Turning Red introduces Mei Lee, a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. Her protective, if not slightly overbearing mother, Ming, is never far from her daughter and unfortunately reality for the teenager. And if changes to her interest, relationship, and body weren't enough, whenever she gets too excited, she poofs into a giant red panda. During this video, I will be giving you my review of this as a Christian father and just letting you know what the Bible has to say and what the themes of this movie are, and there will be spoilers in this video, and we will be telling other Christian parents what you can expect if you choose to watch this movie. And before we get into the movie, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and we will bring you a lot of good content like this in the very near future. Let's get into it. The opening line of the movie is the idea, should we honor our parents or honor ourselves, and do these concepts ever conflict?
Honor your parents. Honoring your parents sounds great, but if you take it too far, well, you might forget to honor yourself.
Now, anybody who knows anything about the Bible knows that Exodus chapter 20, verse number 12 says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. And so we know that is one of the 10 commandments, which is like one of the core laws of Christianity. Try to honor your mother and your father. But this book strikes at the very heart of that concept, saying that sometimes you can't honor your mother and father. Sometimes you just have to honor yourself. And a lot of people will look at this and say, well, that's a reasonable concept, but the truth is that is actually a Luciferian concept. What that is something from Aleister Crowley, do as thou wilt, which we covered in Third Adam. It's the idea that we're not trying to get you to do what God wants you to do, but we're not trying to get you to do what Satan wants you to do. We're just trying to get you to do what you want to do, which at the very core is a Luciferian concept. Okay, so let me explain to you how Satanism and the occult works. It's really not that hard. But I want to explain it to you here in this video. God gave the ultimatum to mankind in the Garden of Eden, saying, if you eat of that tree, thou shalt surely die. It's a 100% done deal. It is an ultimatum. These are the consequences to the rules. Well, Satan comes along and he says the total opposite. You shall not surely die. He gives them complete opposite of what God says. Well, you have two opposite ideas here, and there's no way to reconcile the two. It's either one or the other. And so what Satan does is he tempts Eve with hidden knowledge and with freedom from those rules over there. There's a whole other world of knowledge out there that you can have opened up to you if you'll just disobey that. It's definitely not worship God, and it's not worship Satan. So the occult basically is summed up in this. Do as thou wilt. Do whatever you want. That was Satan's plan for Eve, and that's what he said. Just do what you want to do. And listen, Satan doesn't care if you worship him or whatever. He just is concerned that you're not obeying God and serving God. So really, just do what you want to do. And if you do what you want to do, ultimately you're doing what he wants you to do.
In America, Satanism is sensationalized and kind of misunderstood, and people associate it with worshiping the devil and things like that. But it's really a philosophy about individuality and self-preservation. It's about being your own God.
Now, I will give credit where credit is due. This movie has some very hilarious moments talking about embarrassing your kids and just talking about the boy band culture that is prevalent even today. And there's a lot of good jokes, a lot of good one-liners in there as well. Now, a lot of people have likened this movie as a young lady going through adolescence and her body is changing and things of that nature. There's a lot of jokes about that. But at some point along the movie, she starts to like boys. And she starts drawing a picture of her and a boy embracing, and her mother finds finds the pictures and goes and confronts the boy as if she had been taken advantage of and embarrasses her completely, which causes a strong emotional stir in her heart, and she ends up blowing up into this red panda. And once she turns into a red panda, it is revealed to her that her family has some sort of curse upon them, where all the women have a spirit of red panda inside of them that was given to them a long time ago so they could protect their village, and that at some point when this panda is released inside of them and is awakened inside of them, they all need to get together as a family and do a big ritual to capture this panda spirit inside some sort of talisman of some sort so that it does not control their life. Now, from an occultic perspective, this is speaking about a familiar spirit. Now, the Bible speaks oftentimes about familiar spirits. It's actually a very common concept there. First mentioned in Leviticus 19:31, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Now, for you to understand this and to make the connection to this movie, the root word of the word familiar is family. And this is a generational spirit as defined by the occult. So they say, like, if you have the familiar spirit of alcoholism, then that is a generational thing. And the familiar spirit is a family spirit, which lines up exactly with what this movie is teaching about. Our family has this spirit of a red panda that comes out and attacks people. And we have to harness this demon in some sort of talisman so that it doesn't destroy everybody. And it is revealed to the daughter that she has to have some sort of ritual done so that she can separate from the panda spirit on the 25th, which was the red moon. The problem is that she is working and saving money to go to a concert of a boy band, but they get the date wrong, and turns out that the moon turns red on the same date of the concert. So she's torn between going to the concert or going and having this ritual done so that she can have this panda spirit separated from her. And then her grandmother and all these aunts show up, and it turns out that all of them have had this same experience. It is a generational thing for women, and that even her own mother had to go through this ritual to separate the red panda from her. So they come together, they all do the big ritual, and the funny thing is that there really is serious Eastern occultism being shown all throughout this movie. There is a circle of chalk being drawn, which anybody knows anything about the cult, that is either they use chalk in a circle or they use salt in a circle, and they perform their rituals that creates a portal right at the very middle, and that just opens the door to something, to a spirit world. And so basically they start singing, they start chanting, and the young girl is taken up into some out-of-body experience, which is an astral projection. And after she projects into this bamboo forest across the universe somewhere, she's met with a female spirit. Does any of that sound familiar to you? You see, in 3 Adam 3, Rise of the Divine Feminine, we talked about how that all occultism is somehow tied to a female spirit. And it all goes that way. They worship the divine feminine. And so this spirit woman gives this girl a portal to walk through that she can go through the ritual and separate from the panda spirit. But she decides that she does not want to do so. And what she does is she actually decides that she's going to rebel against her parents and embrace this demon and do whatever she wants with her life. Now, 1 Samuel 15:23 says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry." And so we learned there that rebellion and witchcraft go hand in hand, which is what exactly these people are doing here in this Disney movie. She is rebelling by embracing the demon spirit that she has inside of her. But then again, this is a Disney movie, and that's basically what all of them are about. Reject what your parents say, reject what's right, go off in the woods and be some sort of witch. You guys need new material, y'all. This is getting old. You run the same script over and over and over and over again, and it's kind of dumb. But of course, this is Disney, and Disney's going to do what Disney do. And so after she rebels, her mother gets angry and actually falls and breaks her own pendant, and her panda spirit is released, and she ends up being like some red panda Godzilla and goes and attacks the concert, and basically they release all their panda spirits so that they can try to reverse this process of recapturing these red panda spirits, and then at the end of the day, all of them take their panda spirits back and capture them back, except the young lady. She decides, you know what, I'm going to keep my demon panda spirit, and I'm going to live this way. This is what I'm going to be, and nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to go against the wisdom of my parents. And basically, that's the theme of the movie. So what is the problem here? Why should Christians have hang-ups or hesitations about movies like this? Well, number one, because it teaches rebellion against authority. You know, this whole idea, there's a lot of different ways it could be translated, but basically this young 13-year-old girl basically tells her mom and dad, I'm going to do whatever I stinking want to do, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. This is my choice, my body, my choice, and which is exactly a line in the movie.
Going out like that, are you?
My panda, my choice, Mom.
She goes off and makes permanent decisions about herself. Does any of this sound familiar to you? It should, because this is the social justice issues of the day. And not only that, there is like a ton of witchcraft in this movie. I mean, this thing is out of control, off the charts. Red demons and all kinds of crazy stuff like that everywhere in this movie. Quite frankly, this movie was rated PG, but I think it probably needed a PG-13. Just my opinion, but of course that's subjective and whatever. But of course, there is some very dark imagery. There's some somewhat scary imagery in this movie, and it is spun in such a way so that these spirits that kind of overtake you can be fun and exciting and happy. This is a glorious thing to have this demon spirit come and take over your body and embrace it and work with it and live with it and have it and just reject what your parents say about it. This is you, man. This is the life you want. This is a lot of fun. You can have this if you embrace that spirit. Now, in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, it talks about the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. And it talks about witchcraft being one of the works of the flesh. So God is not leading you into doing something like this, and God does not expect you to do witchcraft, and if you do, you are not being spiritual. So the question needs to be asked, is this something that Christian people should watch? Well, I guess maybe a different question would be, could you watch this? Of course you can watch this. There are a lot of things you could do, but should you watch this? Well, as a Christian father, I'm just going to tell you my family is going to pass on this one. I just don't like the idea that my children are being taught that you can rebel against authority, that you can go off and reject everything that your parents have taught you, and everything will turn out okay. Because the truth is, God gives children parents for their protection and for their good. And for this movie to portray in the minds of young people that you can rebel against everything that is right and good and every authority figure in your life, and you can go off and embrace some demon spirit and everything will turn out fine and happy and there'll be a happy ending there, I think that is misleading. I think that is a dangerous presupposition to give to kids, and I think ultimately that will send some kids down the wrong road. This is not a Christian or good or godly thing for them to learn. Truth be told, every Christian kid who rebels against their parents, who rebels against their church, who rebels against the Bible, goes down a very dark and ugly road, and although some of them can be reclaimed off that road after a period of time, usually the problem is that most of them do not have a happy ending. Many of them have a very sad ending. I want to tell you kids this: your mother and father were given to you by the Lord, and they were given to you for your protection, for your guidance, and for you at 13 years old to decide that I'm going to do whatever I want, I'm a grown adult now, proves how completely ridiculously foolish you are, and you need parents. Trust me, you need your mom and dad. But you see, Disney has a long history of teaching this to their kids. I mean, that's what Frozen was about. I'm just going to let it go and do whatever I want. Nobody's going to tell me what to do anymore. This, at the end of the day, is rebellion. And the Bible likens rebellion unto witchcraft, and oftentimes when somebody is rebelling, they end up somewhere in the world of witchcraft, and this is not good. This is not godly, and I think feminism is a manifestation of this. Not only that, that's what these people are saying. I didn't say it. They said it. That's what they believe. So I went ahead and watched this movie for you, and just so you didn't have to, give you a heads up on what this is. But guys, I'm going to tell you, this thing is not something that I think has lessons in it that I want to instill in my family. I want my kids to know that sin is ugly, that rebelling against authority is an ugly thing, rebelling against what's right, sneaking around on your parents and going behind their back and doing secret things without their approval is a dangerous concept, and you should not be doing these things. This is horrible, awful, and it will cost you severely. Like, this will ruin you. Like I said, the movie is very misleading in that it gives a very happy ending to this young lady who decided to embrace a demon and reject her parents' counsel and wishes. It gives a very happy ending, but the truth is, if you go this way, there won't be a happy ending. It'll be a very dark, ugly ending. And that's why the Bible says so much about the guidance of your parents, listening to the wisdom of your fathers, and lining up with spiritual authority in your life. And if you do so, then you can have a blessed life. Well, that's all for today. This movie, I would say, thumbs down. No way. Not as a Christian father. I will not let my kids watch this. You may think that I'm just some, fuddy-duddy Ned Flanders type guy, but truth be told, I'm trying to raise a family for God over here, trying to do the best I can to teach my kids the right lessons, and this movie from Disney Pixar does not help me in that cause. We're going to pass on this one. Guys, if you're new, subscribe to this channel. This channel is dedicated to exposing the lies, giving you guys the truth, and talking about contemporary theological issues, which that is theology talk for we're just going to talk about stuff, like things. And that's what we're going to do here. So we hope this video is a blessing to you. Hit the like button if you will. Share this video with your friends, family, neighbor, church people. Share it with everybody. Let everybody know what is up in this movie. God bless you all, and we will see you very, very soon. Have a good day.